Hello my friends and welcome to my channel. I'm Katya and here I share my travel adventures, some of them, not all of them, but the ones that I think are worth sharing and are more kind of like a backpacking experiences. And after a really long time, I'm on a new adventure. I'm currently in an office of a hostel in Bogota in a neighborhood called Chapinero. Um, I'm filming in here because pretty much everywhere around, outside, in front of the hostel, in the lounge area, it is way too noisy to make a video. So for you to properly hear me, but this is gonna be my lovely background. Lovely, lovely. Yes, yes, yes. All right, without much more, you know, blah, 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 let me just dive into the topic, which is, you know, first impressions of Bogota, first time in South America, first time in Colombia. It is exciting. Okay, I have my notes here. I'm so organized. Whoops. So yes, I am in Bogota in Colombia for the first time. You can listen, you can find out everything about how I was preparing for the trip and why I chose this destination in my previous video, so go check them out. So now let's just talk about my first day, which was yesterday. I flew from England, from London, via Madrid and to Bogota. I took a night flight. I thought it would be easier because of the jet lag, but surprise, I'm still jet lagged. Yeah, jet lag. Everything was super smooth, which was really amazing, except one thing. I pretty much like prepared really good because it's a completely new destination for me, new culture, a language I don't speak fluently. So I wanted to like prepare really thoroughly, find out like what are all the entry requirements. And there's one thing I missed and haven't found anywhere, like none of the blogs, none of the YouTube videos, not even on the immigration website, nowhere. I didn't know that I needed a return flight from Colombia, or a flight anywhere outside of Colombia. So I literally got denied boarding and it was a little bit stressful. My anxieties were off the roof, and it was because basically our group was boarding the last. When I say our group, I just mean like the section of the plane. I was at the end of the queue, so pretty much almost everyone boarded when they told me you cannot board the plane. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm not gonna waste 500 euros and who knows how many days stranded on the airport or in Madrid. So they told me, well, just book a flight, you literally have 3 minutes. Flights to Ecuador are usually the cheapest. So with my hands shaking and my heart racing like crazy, I had 3 minutes to book a flight. It was the fastest booking I have ever made, so I just booked a flight to Ecuador, and all of the rest was pretty smooth. The immigration was really smooth, everything was smooth. I arrived to Bogota 4:30 in the morning, so I pre-booked a hostel. I booked it for the previous night so that when I arrived there was a room already waiting for me, because I arrived to the hostel at like 6 a.m. so I went and took a nap after that. From the airport I took a taxi. I really tried to manage the buses and I really wanted to take the bus, but even though I had checked beforehand like which bus I need to take and what is the route, where do I need to exit and all of that, when I arrived in front of the airport, when I was trying to find the right bus, I just was completely lost because the signage and just how the buses are marked, like it didn't make any sense to me. So even though I asked for help, there was a nice gentleman that spoke a little bit English that tried to help me, but I think even he didn't know on which bus he needs to go. So I was just like, you know what, like this is too much. I already wasted like half an hour. I was tired and I just took a taxi. I think it was 35,000 Colombian pesos, which I think is around £7, €7, and I gave him some tip, and so I arrived at the hostel at 6 a.m. went straight to bed, and yeah, that was pretty cool. So then after I took my nap, I think I woke up at like 9:30 or something like that. I was ready to go out, but first thing I needed to do was get a local SIM. So I just went outside, found a phone shop, and they did it in like 3 minutes. I got 12 gigabytes for 31,000 pesos, and I also give the guy some tip as well. I think it's called Tigo. I know I got recommended Claro, but he didn't have it, and I was just like, you know what, like I'm so lost here. I need a map and I need my phone to work. So so far it's been working very well, and I'll see like if it's not working everywhere around Colombia, if the reception is not gonna be good, then I can just switch. It's not that big of a deal. After that, I was pretty hungry, and I have some dietary restrictions. I'm trying to stay away from gluten, and I'm quite good with staying away from anything dairy, which in Colombia is not as easy. They put cheese, queso on pretty much everything. I think this has been going on all morning, so I don't think it's gonna stop. So if I want to record this video, we're just gonna have to go with the alarms. You know, it's background music. To my surprise, when I type into my Google map vegano, like loads of restaurants turned up, and like really nice ones as well. So I was super pleased with that. So I went to this really nice vegan place, and the service was really amazing. The food was amazing. Together with tip, I think I paid around 40,000 pesos, which was a good price. That's about €8 for a vegan coffee, a huge lemonade, and some really nice kind of like a wrap kind of veggie plate. It was really, really good. And so, because I didn't really research that much about what to do in Bogota, I went and did a bit of like Google search on what to do while I'm here. On the blog that I found, there were some really good suggestions, and first of them was to do a free walking tour. And I was like, I don't know why I always forget about free walking tours, but that's such a good way to learn about the city, the culture, the history, all of it. Just like get an idea of like what's going on. So I booked that, and after my vegan lunch, I took a Uber to downtown. That was like 20 minutes drive and costed me around €2. I arrived at a meeting place, which was in La Candelaria, which is the old historical part of Bogota, where it's most touristy and like most lively, let's say. So I did the free walking tour. I took the company called Beyond Colombia, and I was super happy with it. It was about 3 hours walking around La Candelaria, and there were a lot of people, big groups. I think there were about like 6 or 7 different tour guides. Mine was Angelica, and she was super nice. She explained really well all the history, which is quite violent. We know from media, but I think it's a lot of it is like stereotypes and just like these like narco cartel movies, and you know, but it's a lot more than that. It's much deeper than that. Like the political history and like the violence here is like, it's insane when you just like start hearing some of the stories. So I really enjoyed learning about the culture and the history while we were like walking through the city. And then like of course, like I'm a little bit of like the history architect, I wouldn't say history buff, but like architecture buff. I love old architecture, and I have to admit I love colonial architecture. I know like I'm not a big fan of the fact that so much of the world has been colonized, but the architecture in these places is sometimes like so beautiful and so like mind-blowing. I love the colors, I love the art. Like in La Candelaria, it's insane. Well, actually also here in Chapinera, like I find like there's graffiti, there's street art, like it's so colorful and so like vivid. I really like that. And of course La Candelaria is super busy, touristy, there's people everywhere, there's music everywhere. So yeah, super lively, there's people dancing. Yeah, like I really enjoyed walking. Not the fact that it's so busy, but yeah, just the whole town like had the like Candelaria, the neighborhood had a really nice atmosphere, like really positive, happy, upbeat kind of place, which I really enjoyed. We also had a little degustation. How would you say tasting? Why do I say degustation? I don't think that's even an English word. I don't know. It's from Slovenian. We had a little tasting of the chicha, which is fermented corn drink, which was really interesting. It was kind of like a sweet liqueur kind of corny something. It was really good. I'm sure I'm gonna try to find more of that in the countryside, because I heard like in the cities it's not that popular, but like in smaller towns you can really get to taste different varieties. We also went around the museum area, which was really cool. I ended up going to the toilet in one of them, which I think was the Bolivar Museum, where there was like a lot of art. There's a lot of isn't like, I didn't know the name, but when I saw the paintings, I know, oh, I know this guy. Like his paintings, like everything is fat. Like it's so cute, but it's like, why is everything so fat? So yeah, it was a really nice museum. I'm not the kind of person that would spend too much time going to like attractions like that or like museums and stuff. I much more enjoy like the outside life, seeing how people live and that kind of vibe. Just like people watching, that's like my favorite thing to do, or just like wandering around the streets not knowing where to go. But yeah, it was cool that I went there, that I needed a toilet, and I saw that was a cool building, cool museum gallery. And then we ended up at the main like Plaza Bolivar, which was also like super lively, so many things happening. There's so many like street vendors, people selling drinks, people selling all kinds of snacks, food. I mean, yeah, it was so cool. Like I really enjoyed it. It's a bit overwhelming, I would say. Like there's a lot, like I feel in the recent years I've become more like relaxed, chill. I just kind of like more of like a resorty thing. No, like yeah, okay, I can call it, maybe I've become like more of a bougie backpacker. So I would stay in hostels, but you know, it's not the cheapest hostel, it's a bit nicer. I like to have my own space a little bit of intimacy. I like that the bunk beds are, you know, have curtains. I like that there's like a nice lounge area, nice area where I can work, you know, because yeah, I'm traveling and working, so it's kind of like a digital nomad kind of experience as well. So that is all like super important. So I like after the first 2 hours I was like, I don't think I'm gonna stay in Bogota more than just the 2 nights that I had booked. But after being in La Candelaria, I'm like, okay, like I think I can do this. I think there's a little bit more that I want to see. That was like a really good base that I got from the walking tour, and now I just kind of like want to discover a little bit more, and I want to go hiking up the mountain and stuff. So I did extend for 2 more nights. I booked a hostel in La Candelaria, so like in the main historic area, where I won't have to commute and take the bus or the taxi all the time. Because yeah, in Chapinera is a good area for like restaurants, for clubs, and kind of more like, yeah, nightlife, bars and stuff. So I will try to go and do that today, but then tomorrow I go to La Candelaria, and I'm gonna be like more like discovering and walking around, wandering the streets, things like that. What's gonna happen after that, I have no idea. So the hostel where I'm staying now is called La Repubblica, and and as I mentioned, it's quite nice. It was really cheap. I think I paid 17 euros for 3 nights. It's insane. It has a nice common area. People here are super friendly. They just gave me this office to have peace and quiet and to film this video. I had breakfast, which was really good, 2 euros. So yeah, I do recommend it, especially if you're really on the budget. It's a good place to be. Yeah, because I'm a little bit tired and jet lagged and feel like I had a big day yesterday walking around for hours. I'm just keeping it very chill today. I'm gonna be editing videos, doing some work, bits and pieces here and there, and trying to plan a little bit where I'm going next, because I have no idea how I'm gonna spend these 3 months. To just sum up a little bit of like what are my first impressions. So on the positive side, I love how colorful, how vivid, how lively it is, how everyone is like, seems like to be in a really good mood, like very positive, very hospitable, very friendly. You know, I've tried to yesterday when coming back from La Candelaria, I was like, okay, I need to figure out buses, because taking Uber everywhere is just not the way that backpackers travel. So with my very limited Spanish, like it's very hard to navigate, and so I was very lucky when I went to the station to buy the card, which you need to like charge to pay the buses. There was a girl in line who spoke a little bit English, so she translated to explain to the staff member what I'm trying to do and what I need to buy. And then they also like, so she was with her father, they took me to the right bus station so that I could board the right bus, because it's so confusing. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I find the system very confusing and not marked in a way that I would understand and be confident that I'm on the right bus. And I do use Google, so it's just not being very helpful. I don't know. The fact that it's very busy, you really need to be careful about your safety. It is a bit gritty, like I would say it's similar to like, or like a between like Naples or like South Italian cities and like Middle Eastern kind of vibe. I don't know, or maybe like Southeast Asia. I don't know. I'm trying to compare, but it's like it's not easy to compare. It's just, let's just put it this way. It's a bit gritty, but if you're the kind of person who can find beauty in like the uncommon and obvious ways, then you're gonna find it really nice. I mean, it is a really cool city. And then a topic that a lot of people want to know about, and I surely did before going to Colombia, is safety. Even though I heard from Colombians that I've met during my travels or work or whatever, they told me that in the recent years the safety has really improved. It's not like you hear on TV, or like, you know, the really violent stuff was going on in like 70s, 80s, 90s, and you know, so that's like 30 years ago. Since then a lot has changed. It's as dangerous as any kind of big city or any travel destination. You need to be careful about pickpocketers. I think that's the biggest danger. So you need to keep your valuables safe, not like flaunt them. There's an expression in Colombian that goes no dar papaya, which basically means, you know, don't put yourself in danger, don't like do anything that is gonna make you stand out and be an easy target. So you just need to be a little bit mindful. For me personally, like I didn't want to do videos like this when we were walking around town, just because like I don't think I'm not yet comfortable in like leaving my phone or like exposing it like on a tripod or like on a stick or whatever, because you don't know, like I don't want to be a target like that. I might be like really exaggerating or like paranoid, but I just don't want to risk it. It's my only phone that I have with me. It's very valuable to me, not just because of the phone, but like everything on it. So you're not gonna find so many videos of like me walking around looking cool. Another Another thing is there's police and security and guards pretty much on almost every corner, which was a little bit surprising. I wasn't expecting that. It's like, it makes you feel safe, but on the other hand, you're like, if there's so much police and security everywhere, is there a need for it to be here? Like, is there really so much crime and all, like, everything that you hear, like all these horrible stories are like, are they true, or like, you know, is this just to like prevent anything from happening so that tourists feel safe? I don't know. I'm not, you know, if you're Colombian and know, or a traveler and know, like, tell me your experiences, tell me what you think. But yeah, it's kind of like a two-sided thing. It makes you feel safe, but then you're just like kind of questioning, like, why is this necessary? I mean, I've seen security with dogs sniff cars for bombs when I was walking on the street, and I'm like, and I don't think it was like a government building or anything, it was just an apartment building, so that was a bit surprising. So I think that's that. I think this concludes what I had to say about my first day. I ended the day in the evening in my hostel because I was really tired. I just had a couple of beers, there was some karaoke going on, it was like, seemed super fun, but I was really not in the mood. I was too tired and jet lagged, so I think I went to bed at like 9:30 and then woke up today at 6, so I'm loving this. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions about Colombia, about backpacking, about digital nomad lifestyle, about Bogota, if you have any recommendations, please do tell me. I'm gonna be here for quite a while, so tune in to find more and see where the path takes me. All right, thank you and see you next time. Bye.